House number 16 is the Jim and Helen Syler home. It is located at 517 Rusk, Block 18, Lots 7 and 8. It has almost 3,000 square feet living area. Jim was born in house number 17, which was his father's home. Jim graduated from Baylor College of Pharmacy in 1927. In 1932, he married his high school sweetheart, Helen Stewart, from Kirbyville, Texas. In 1936, Jim went into partnership with his father at the Syler Drugstore, which was located on the Courthouse Square. It is now the Agape Christian Academy. Jim and Helen rented house number 4, the Passmore House, while this house was being built. The Syler's daughter, Sue Rathburn, lives in this house. Listen as she tells more about her home.
The house you see here is the present home of where I moved when I was about a little over either 3 or 4 years old. My mother and father, Helen and Jim Syler, purchased the land for this home from Mr. Ernest Powell, who lived in the home directly behind us. Originally, the home did not include the addition that you can see on the north side. That was added around 1950 to add 2 more bedrooms and a bath for my brother Jim and me. The original structure had 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and when we moved in around 1936, there was no butane, there was no gas. We only had wood for cooking and for heating. So in the kitchen, there was a wood stove. We used the fireplace in the living room, and in the middle bedroom, we had a wood heater. The original home was what would be called today a craftsman style. It is still reflected in the gables. There were brick pillars in the front with tiered wooden columns. My mother later thought this was outdated, so she had those replaced with the columns that you see now. Now that I see that craftsman style is so fashionable, I wish that we still had the original pillars there, but that's the way it is. There were 3 bedrooms straight through the center of the home, and large hallway, the living room that you can see on the front, dining room behind that, and a separate breakfast room and kitchen, which was a style then. The house was built in 1936. We built the house. Mr. Leroy Gunner, who was a well-known carpenter and builder here in town, built the house and designed it. The fireplace, as I said, was really important to heating the living room. For cooling in the summer, we later installed an attic fan that you would have to leave the windows up, and Mother was a cleaning fanatic, and she didn't like the attic fan because it brought in dust. But it was the only way that you could get any sort of ventilation during the hot months. As I said, originally we had a wooden stove. We were able to convert to butane gas a few years after we moved in. That time you had a butane tank in the backyard, and the butane man would come by, fill up the tank, and make sure, that we had butane, as I said, for our stove and for heating. The electricity was already in that part of town.
Oh,
so
okay.
We never had to use kerosene lanterns or anything, but we did have to use wood wood stove till we got the butane.
Helen Syler taught school in Kirbyville and Newton. She was instrumental in getting the Newton Public Library established. She was also active in the Newton Garden Club and our Historical Commission. Miss Syler wrote Footprints, which is in Crosscuts, and My Grandfather in Newton County Nuggets. Both books were established by the Newton County Historical Commission. Another side note is that Jim Syler served 2 terms as mayor of Newton. During his tenure, which began in 1940, the city's sewer, water, and gas systems were completed. Please continue to house number 17.